Hi everyone, welcome to today's panel sponsored by Snarfingers and Torbrow. I'm your host, Iris. Today we have Charlie Hu, Polygon head of China, Dan Ruo, QuickSwap community manager, Lilith, market consultant of AAve, Matt Powers, O3 communication director, and Mac Georgiou, senior marketing manager of Polystarter. It's a great pleasure to have you guys with us. Welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Before we start, you can scan the QR code on the screen to join our community and participating in Lucky Draws. 10 winners will get a chance to share Matic in $400. All right, let's do this. 在 panel 开始之前，大家可以扫描屏幕上的二维码进群参加抽奖活动。今天将有等值$400的 Matic 送给10位获奖者。Okay, let's go. Polygon is one of the examples of Ethereum compatible networks which can provide developers the opportunity to build sidechains to support the growth of dApps for ecosystem. As a matter of fact, the portion for the smart contracts for ERC20 token deployed on Polygon is much higher than that on Ethereum. Starting from this April, there is one smart contract for Ethereum ERC20 token deployed on Polygon among every other 220 smart contracts on chains, where there's only one deployed on Ethereum among 1,430 smart contracts. It seems that the development for projects on Polygon is obviously surpassing that on Ethereum. So what would be your thoughts on this circumstance? Let's go first with Charlie.
Oh, thank you, Iris, first of all, for the introduction, and glad to be here. And I'm super happy to see all the ecosystem friends, all the friends, and certainly the most important ones in the ecosystem. Yeah, the numbers keep changing every day. I'm giving almost 4 or 5 AMAs a week. Every week I try to repeat the same narrative because essentially the vision is the same, but the data I have to update every single AMA because it keeps changing every day. So the comment on this is I also talk about this in Chinese with the Huobi Academy students and some other people who are asking me the same question. How come Polygon as an ecosystem that the numbers is growing so fast? Some people even didn't believe in that. Right? They thought was something wrong or something. But actually everything is on chain, everything is transparent, immutable. You can track on that. Right? So it's real data. It's real actions. Like a lot of people from Ethereum, a lot of projects, the blue chip ones from Ethereum are migrating. Along the way, I see some new projects, such as in the Web3 gaming side, the GameFi ones are really directly building on Polygon. So I think from Polygon's perspective, the only thing I can comment on this is the support we're trying our best to give to the ecosystem partners and the new developers, right? The ones who have been building stuff on Polygon, we give them grants and all kinds of support, and that's pretty much the only metrics that matters in our opinion. It is the adoption rate and also the developer friendliness. If we stop to be developer friendly as an ecosystem, we will lose the adoption, we will lose the growth rate and potential, and then all the numbers will become the historical data. Right? We cannot keep up the growth rate, and I think the whole growth potential is not fully unlocked yet. The upcoming China Joy with the current adoption and phenomenal growth from Axie Infinity, all the Web3 GameFi stuff is really interesting for us. So yeah, definitely also to see all the upcoming DeFi summer. Right, we're still trying to push the DeFi summer this year, and we don't call it's not even DeFi summer. Maybe it's called like a multi-chain DeFi, right? With some really high level DeFi protocols building on multiple chains, and Polygon serve as a scaling solution for Ethereum, and is definitely one important component in the multi-chain DeFi ecosystem. So that's kind of my comment on the data on the in the recent months' growth in the ecosystem.
Yeah, so yeah, really, Polygon's data is changing every day, and we are very glad to see it's growing so fast. So what's your point, Dan?
Yeah, first thanks to Charlie to sharing about this. I think it's quite agree with you, and same as Charlie. And such a great pleasure to be here to share my opinion. So when you're talking about if Polygon is surpassing Ethereum, for this question, I would say yes at the moment, but in the future, I'm not quite sure, because for me, as the perspective of finance, I think Ethereum is still the center of DeFi. And if we don't have Ethereum, we will not have any other amazing projects. So in the long run, I'm not quite sure, but in the short run, for sure, Polygon is definitely the leader, and they create these amazing projects, and we have amazing like exchanges. I would say QuickSwap is quite amazing, but yeah, SushiSwap and other like DeFi protocols they listed on Polygon is quite amazing too. And for the finance perspective, like if you the transaction fees and the gas fees is quite low, and you can farm and you can mining in this DeFi thing. So I think, because I'm a community manager, more opinions about finance and marketing and how to manage your money. And I would totally say yes. We can go for Polygon at the moment and this summer for sure. But in the future, we have to work harder, like all of us, not only Polygon. And I think QuickSwap has to work harder too, because we know Uniswap is doing something or considering Arbitrum something. I'm not quite sure about the technology side, but I think everyone has to keep work hard. Yeah, that's kind of my opinion, but yeah, we will see what others will say. Thanks.
Thank you, Dan. As for now, I think QuickSwap is a really important opponent in Polygon ecosystem. Yeah, and we are looking forward to is a growing ecosystem with other chains, maybe on Arbitrum. Yeah. Okay, so what's your point, Lilith?
Oh yeah, I'm Lilith. I'm working for AAve, a market consultant. So I'm handle all Asia events on the community. I should say I'm Polygon investor too. I'm fun. I'm
Me
using
too.
Yeah. So yeah. So when AAve released the AAve Polygon markets, is have a significant market data. We have weekly reports for that for our community. Then so we can check our AAve government's forum to to look at the really big change when we released Polygon technology. So for AAve, we based on the Ethereum blockchain, but when we use Polygon blockchain, we change it to like a how to say that? Like we use that as a sub chain. Then would be I think the first one DeFi protocol in the world as a multiple chain. So for me, for our community, so every community users who are really interested to use Polygon on Aave as well, I think it's really potential one. Yes, for my personal. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, Lilith. Yeah, Aave on Polygon is has achieved a really remarkable performance. I think it's a win-win cooperation between Aave and Polygon. Yeah. So what's your point on this, Matt?
Right. So we've seen growth on Polygon, both from like the user side and the project side. And I think both those sides are kind of fueling each other. And yeah, definitely part of it is the lower transaction fees, the faster speeds, and also the popularity is just, the momentum is gaining for Polygon, and it has been over the past several months. On the project side, we see projects benefit from the large user base and give their users a more intuitive trading experience. From O3 Labs, we're also on the way to deploy our cross-chain pool on Polygon because it's just such an attractive space to launch a project. We already have our cross-chain aggregation protocol on 4 chains, Ethereum, Hiko, Binance Smart Chain, and Neo. And now we're planning to focus on Polygon just because it's so scalable. We think it's a new great way to connect liquidity between Ethereum and Polygon, and also those 4 chains that we're on besides Ethereum. So more users can trade like between different chains without barriers, without depositing, without KYC, like certification, verification. DeFi is just growing so exponentially quickly right now, and Polygon is right in the center of it, and they're in a really good spot right now.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, we're really looking forward to O3's performance on Polygon. Yeah. So what's your opinion on it, Mac?
Hi. Yeah, just thanks for having me. First of all, just to agree heavily on Charlie's and Matt's points. So both talking about the numbers. So Charlie just referring to having to shift through the numbers because they keep changing. But the point is that when I'm personally looking, or if we're discussing like this Ethereum Polygon ecosystem, we notice so the daily transaction volume on Polygon is just much higher, and at the same time the transaction fees equivalently are much lower. So in any kind of like looking outside any kind of test network or test environment that a developer would want to, let's say, launch something, or even from a user's perspective, the numbers do make sense. And like not only we're looking at them now, but newcomers as well are looking at these numbers that are out, like seeing projects actually with higher usage on Polygon rather than Ethereum. Examples are SushiSwap, as we all mentioned here. Yeah, so it's just been an exciting more than past 6 months. We've noticed, probably all of us, this growth on Polygon. So yeah, very interesting numbers in regards to daily transactions and the fees encountered on that, and comparing those to other chains. Yeah, that's an easy way for me to really notice the growth. So yeah, agreed on all points from fellow peers here.
Thank you, Mac. So yeah, the transaction volume and the transaction fee is really amazing on Polygon ecosystem. Yeah, so thank you for your sharing on this question. Let's go to the next question. Okay, gas fee has always been annoying when it comes to DeFi protocols on Ethereum. As an alternative, Polygon shows us something nice to deal with. The daily gas fee consumption on Polygon is around $10,000, where that on Ethereum is roughly $7 million. In the meantime, the amount of daily active transactions on Polygon is much greater than that on Ethereum. DeFi users have been suffering long enough from the overwhelming gas fee on Ethereum. When we analyze the transactions for stablecoins on both chains, we found something noteworthy. In June, transaction volume for stablecoins in the scale of $10,000 to $100,000 on Polygon accounts for 10 to 15% of the total transaction volume, where that on Ethereum accounts for only 6 to 10%. The volume comparison in scale of $1,000 to $10,000 shows the same result. Looks like high gas fee are persuading some low volume transactions on Ethereum to quit. Compared to DeFi on Ethereum trapped by high gas fees, DeFi on Polygon is a more appealing substitution, especially for users dealing with transactions of relatively low volume. So my question is, will this situation push the majority of DeFi users from Ethereum to Polygon in the near future? If so, what kind of impact will it bring to the current cross-chain trend? Okay, let's again do first with Charlie.
It's a great question. Thank you very much, Iris. I think this is a very high-level, insightful question, right? With real data, looking at the real facts, not just opinions, right? And So I think for that, to back up what you just shared, the best way to look at the data, to keep track on the data on Ethereum, on Polygon, is called Nathan.ai. It's part of it's a pretty interesting website. Also, ecosystem partner in Polygon ecosystem. They are very chain agnostic, right? They're providing pretty trustworthy data and pretty solid, backed by all kinds of leading VCs in the world. So I'm using that as a very important tool to look at the daily, on-chain data, everything. So one thing Aris, you just talk about, the small traders who just maybe trading every day, let's say a couple of $100 or even less, right? They're using more and more on Polygon network because of the gas fee, right? We are 2 magnitudes cheaper than Ethereum. With that, I mean, it makes much more sense to trade on Polygon because of the gas fees is neglectable, right? Compared to Ethereum, when the gas fee gray is like around 50, even 100, right? And then every single transaction you need to pay a couple of dollars, even more than $10 per trade. So proportionally for small traders or retail investors, that's actually quite some money to add up with, right? And along the way, I see not just the stable coin, and also a lot of high frequent trading applications such as derivatives, right? Leverage trading, some kind of DeFi, higher risk DeFi protocols, or maybe some other upcoming GameFi, Web3 gaming stuff. You need to trade not just once per day, actually multiple times, even pretty high frequency usage of applications. Then it's inevitable. People can complain when the gas fee is too high, and it doesn't make sense, right? And some people always argue that if you want to buy an NFT, the NFT asset is only like $30, and you need to pay the equal amount, even higher amount of the gas fee to purchase and get that asset. It doesn't make sense for people, right? Okay. So it's not gonna the platform of like OpenSea, for example, one of the leading NFT marketplace that already built on Polygon as well. They are just pushed their user guide for their OpenSea users, right? Who wants to open up the Polygon wallet and buy and purchase NFT on that, right? So I think that it has been huge momentum since they launched their guide, because a lot of people need to store that. Because they want to buy some kind of small okie dokie NFT, maybe just worth $5, right? If the gas fee is way higher than that, nobody gonna do that. Then the NFT becomes something which is only high end, only luxury style. You spend thousands of dollars, for that NFT, and then it's okay to spend $50, $20 for the gas fee. That makes sense, right? Then for big whales, for institutional level DeFi traders, that makes sense, right? They're doing tens of thousands or even 500,000 level of transactions, worth of the money for the transactions, right? Then you pay like 0.1% of the gas fee, although it's already like a couple of tens, $30 or $50 per trade, right? That's okay. But for retails, the majority of long tail users are still retails, right? I think for those people, we definitely see the big necessity, to explore some cheaper options, right? And I think for that, the EVM compatible elements is still really worth mentioning. I saw a lot of the developers were trying to exploring other chains as well. Because my background come from other, I was helping other chains such as Polkadot before I joined Polygon. So the Rust language is a huge barrier for a lot of developers as well. So being 100% strong EVM compatible infrastructure, very compatible with Ethereum is certainly very helpful when developers wants to just migrate or build a new dApps on Polygon, because of the this compatibility is very strong. If you want to rebuild everything from scratch, even learn a new language, it sounds pretty easy and exciting, right? I'm gonna learn a new language, but it's very difficult to build that in reality. So we realize a lot in the last couple of months is when talking to a lot of new developers. So the cheap gas fee for retails, I would say it's pretty no-brainer. And then the compatibility is an important element worth mentioning.
Yeah, thank you, Charlie. So the very low very low gas fee has really attracted many users to Polygon, and is 100% EVM compatibility has attracted many developers. So that's why I think, yeah, we are very attracted by Polygon ecosystem. Okay, so what's your point on this, Dan?
Okay, and I like Charlie's points. Like first he said, if you try to like use $30 to do your transaction or buy stuff, and your gas fee is higher than $30, that means this make no sense. So, and the second point is like this market is for retailers. It's not only for those institutions, and so I kind of agree with this, because from the perspective of finance again and our QuickSwap, I do experience this because we have some users. Actually, they have like 2 Matic, 2 Polygon, and sometimes they have like 2 stable coin. They want to keep farming or mining, and this makes sense. And they start to farm on QuickSwap or mining here, and considering if they can deposit their money, and then they just deposit money and they claim their rewards on time and they deposit again. Consider compounding rates. Next year, they might have like 6 Matic in total. So which could kind of double their assets, which is amazing, because the normal bank, we know that you keep your cash there, and this year you have $100. Next year you have 103, but you cannot buy the stuff as the year before. So we are the same, because I saw like a radio. Is a very famous guy in the finance field. He's amazing with investing. He said cash is trash, and the DeFi helps us. Like you can be rich, but before Polygon, DeFi is helping people to be rich, but you have to be rich at the first place, because the gas fee you are paying, you have to get a lot of assets first. And the poor people, you have to stay away from DeFi, and you have to keep being poor. So which make no sense. But now, like Polygon makes everything happens, and everyone can join this, and everyone can join this game and earn their own money, and they can do everything they want. And the QuickSwap is helping at the same time. You can deposit your money or your coins in our exchange, and you can claim your rewards, and you can earn your own money. Because at some point, I think the first time I joined Polygon, at that time is quite early. I just use my mining fee. I don't do anything. And my monthly bills just paid by the rewards or those liquidity fees, which is really amazing. It never happens. And my friends, they are like, work their ass off in the stock market or some banking error. They're like, oh my God, how does this happen? Like they have to work so hard and analyze everything all the time, and I was just chilling and get all these things done. And that's why because I've been in a finance, either studying or working in the finance field for 7 years. When I get to know DeFi, and I was like, this is for sure something amazing in the future, and I have to get into it quite early. That's why I joined QuickSwap at the second place, where that's why I feel super honored to share my opinion. As a normal people, you want to finance your assets, it's great chance now, and join us and join in DeFi first, and get to know Polygon second. Join QuickSwap or AAve and deposit your money, get money, and be rich. That's my opinion. So for sure, the answer for this question, we're back to the question. For sure, we will push the DeFi users to Polygons more and more, as long as you get into it, as long as you know about it. Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Thank you, Dan. So let's be rich. So let's get rich on QuickSwap and Polygon. Yeah. Okay. So next, Lilith, what's your opinion about it?
Yeah, let's be rich. Yeah, let's be rich to use Polygon ecosystem. Every support, every awareness on the market is really important to our users. And so as many projects, they have governance like AAve. So when we decided to release Polygon, Aave market. We vote, we build the AIP. We got a lot of supporters to do that. That's the reason why, because it's really nice because we can be rich. And yeah, you know, the gas fee and transaction speed, I think is really care about, you know, the DeFi users, every DeFi users. I mean, if you use Ethereum or Polygon or anyone else, but gas fee is a forever topic for everyone, I think. So yeah, this is for Aave. So this is the best solution to solve this. You know, like we use this like a real as a tool. We salute gas fee. We have the campaign with Polygon as well. So if you open our official side, you can see the Polygon Aave market. We have the reward. We have the, if you deposit some assets in Aave Polygon market, we support Polygon. So we will reward you. So I think, yeah, from Aave, it's best choice. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you, Lilith. Yeah, for Aave, Polygon is the best choice, and we have seen many users have been transferred
Rich.
from Polygon to Aave, from Aave to Polygon. Yeah. Okay. So next, what about you, Matt?
Yeah, so I think Charlie made a very important point that you shouldn't have to be very rich to engage with DeFi and pay the gas fees. I mean, that's really why the space was created. It was to bring finance to those who don't really have access to it in their home countries and don't. And the trustlessness of it, it's also supposed to be decentralized. So when you see a nation like, what was it? Bolivia, El Salvador, entrusting like to move to Bitcoin to have it as legal tender. The reason is because most of like their people don't really have access to bank accounts, and they don't have access to like banking products where they can invest and save money and gain interest. But they do have cell phones, and therefore they can invest in DeFi and they can make money by buying like some of these coins, like some of the good projects. Of course, there is risk, and some projects have suffered from security issues. That's really the number one thing, is the security issues, number one. And number two is liquidity. Yeah, you have to be liquid and make sure like that these people don't get the rug pulled under them and don't lose their money. But DeFi has shown the ability, and particularly some of these swaps like Uniswap and SushiSwap, they've shown the ability, even during mega crashes, like the most recent crash we've had in, is it March? Yeah, in March or May, to withstand it in a way that a centralized exchange like Coinbase was down during that crash. I couldn't access any of my funds on Coinbase. And yet Uniswap, decentralized and on a platform like Ethereum, which, you know, I think it's failed to mention that Polygon works in tandem with Ethereum. That is a side chain for Ethereum. So Ethereum is really important to Polygon as well. So I wouldn't compare the two, because they're really working like in cooperation with one another. And yeah, Polygon is no doubt addressing the issue of high gas fees, and that's attracting a lot of users and projects to their chain, and that's the reason O3Swap is going there. But yeah, I think that's an important point. You shouldn't have to be rich to engage in decentralized finance. You should be able to slowly but surely build wealth through trading, through mining, through staking, you know, every month, every week, whatever you may be doing. You might be checking your funds every minute. So yeah, I think it's great that we're bringing banking and investing to people that previously haven't had like either the education or even the like ability to open a bank account, to invest in stocks even. Certainly not so many people on the planet with Dan's financial savvy and experience. So yeah, people need to know about this, and this is sort of the next frontier when it comes to investing. Actually, similar to Dan's points, when O3 first began the mining, like we had a bunch of mining activities on o3swap.com. I remember the APR was like 900% at the beginning because we had so few users. But as more and more users came, it came down a little bit. But even now, it's at like 109%. So I put some coins in there, you know, just because it's insane. Well, if you're lucky in a bank, you can make maybe 3% on money that's just sitting there. But in the DeFi world, the rate of return has the potential to be way higher. But certainly, it's not mainstream yet. It's going to take time, and we need to prove to the world that it's secure and it's safe.
Thank you, Matt. Yeah, I think Matt has a really optimism in DeFi. Yeah, DeFi is a bright future for us. Let's make money by trading, staking, mining, farming on this world. Yeah, thank you. So what's your point on this, Mac?
Firstly, I do agree on Matt's optimism on DeFi, 100% here as well. Just to touch up on Charlie's point and then briefly just summarize what everyone else mentioned. So the NFT point exactly. So we're talking about retail users. And we've seen, like, especially this year, like, and we talked about NFTs before, like the adoption, a big part of the adoption, generally like cryptocurrencies and the technology itself has been made like through these NFTs. Either would it be like we saw Beeple's drop like being sold, or like even auctions, like we've had some record numbers. That just has spoken like us towards the adoption and general knowledge of people. So when we get back to gas fees and like even looking at claiming an NFT, yes, it does seem outrageous that the fee or the gas fee to claim the NFT does actually cost more than the actual NFT or the scenario where you would purchase it. So just touching up on this point where I've noticed a lot of growth and adoption this past year, that yes, Polygon is sort of leading the way in that direction because tackling fees, especially for retail users. And as we mentioned, it sort of came to a point, especially like during high traffic times, like a lot of congestion on the Ethereum network and having like insanely high fees. So for example, a swap would be like $100. A transfer would be somewhere in the range of $20. Like a very, very simple transaction would still cost like would pretty much drain a retail user's wallet. Like if you're just entering the space, trying to like even test a few things, it could be very, very like not a very good experience as starting off. So to that point, yes, I think there's going to be a big transition, and even bigger than we've seen so far. Yeah. So that's my point.
Mac, yeah.
Question.
Thank you.
I think like we also need to think about how like new and exciting it is to like own a meme. Like this is my meme, or like this is my image. Like, you know, you have proof of that, and that's incredible.
Yeah, and even like the visualization of showing it. So yeah, we're talking about the digital assets. So for example, yes, I own it, but what I've seen, like you see all these like small. I'll just call them projects. So for example, a nice way for you to even display this NFT. So you literally buy let's say a display for it. I don't know. There's just a few many ways, like other than just knowing it's a digital collectible, like bridging that kind of gap. Yeah. So yeah, there's a lot to that NFT space, especially. And also just a quick mention of the recent Dolce & Gabbana, like on Polygon, like that partnership, very big luxury brand stuff. And yeah, a lot of stuff coming.
Wow.
Wow, really looking forward to it. Yeah.
Nice.
And we didn't even talk about the Atari and the games.
Exactly. Like there's so much. Yeah, exactly. And I'm only picking on things that happened a few days ago. So 100%.
Thank you. Okay, thank you, everyone. Now let's take a break. It's time for our first Lucky Draw. We will have 2 rounds of Lucky Draws today. Rules are simple. When I say go, you can tap Matic in the chat channel. Then I'll call 3, 2, 1, stop. our staff will take a screenshot and draw 5 lucky guys out of our viewers. 现在是中场休息抽奖时间，我们要进行弹幕抽奖。等一下，我用英语倒数，开始3、2、1，停。开始后，大家在弹幕区发送 Matic， 活动工作人员会进行截图，在 B 站、YouTube 抽取5人获得空投。OK, ready, go. 3, 2, 1, stop. That's for our first draw today. The result will be revealed later in our community. Let's head back to our topic. Okay, the third part. Following the previous question, with the cross-chain protocols emerging, users may have more options to process their transactions. If we take a closer look at the active addresses doing cross-chain transactions between Polygon and Ethereum, we'll find something interesting, like there are about 20,000 users using AAve on Polygon, who have never used AAve on Ethereum among those overlapping addresses. Not only AAve, popular DeFi staples like SushiSwap have also established their presence on Polygon. Meanwhile, more protocols such as 0x, Curve, and Kyber are going to be added to the list. Data reveals that most popular chain by the numbers of swaps executed daily is Polygon, which overtook the Ethereum by swap volume in June with a $420 million mark. And the daily active wallet addresses on Polygon has increased by 845%, exceeding 73,000 compared to last quarter, which are more than those on Ethereum. So my question is that will the status of Ethereum in the sector of DeFi be taken over by Polygon? So let's go first with Charlie.
It's always challenging. I start first, huh? Yeah. Well, yeah. Thank you again. Oh, it is not a typical panel discussion type of question, because normally the panel, the moderator asks you, what do you think about that, and then you go ahead, right? And you provide such a big context with a lot of data. Yeah, I think back to your question, let me try to give a try. I think to answer that question, we need to zoom back a bit, to look at the reality, right? I think it's kind of follow up with the previous question. So why people wants to just directly move on Polygon's application? Why? Because of the transaction fees, right? I think that's kind of the back to the previous question. And why transaction fees? Because it was too high for them to really make it sensible to join the protocol, because especially the people who are in Beijing, AAve, I wouldn't say even AAve, because AAve is pretty well established. A lot of new experimental dApps in the space. They're very kind of how to say, I would say high risky, fun but edgy applications, right? So the people who know this, who actually discovered them and wants to actually even spend their crypto to do some yield farming or maybe purchase some NFT, are the risk taker. I would say those people are smart people. So they would do their calculation, right? So if the number doesn't add up, right, just like what I just mentioned, if the number doesn't add up, it doesn't make sense for them to join, they will not join, they will wait. So that's, I think that there's a lot of people in this crypto space have been pretty well educated in the space, who have been in the space for years, right? Who probably even get burned by some previous projects in 2018 and 2017, right? So we have a lot of people who have been in the space for a while. Those people are the important active users in the space, and they will do the math. So I think that for infrastructure builder or provider or for application builder, right? The economic models, the product you're offering, we're transparent anyway, right? So let the users figure out themselves, but we need to give the right information for them. So the result kind of tells the truth and explain for themselves, right? Why things happen this way? Because finally now certain application makes sense to contribute, to participate, right? Now it makes sense for me to spend maybe a couple of Matic and to buy, to participate in this play to earn on Ethermon or Chain Guardians, those kind of Web3 games. And the assets, the virtual asset I'm buying, and I'm playing on the games, the transaction fee is ignactable because it's so small, right? I can keep having fun with that without worry about, in my MetaMask, do I have enough Ethereum to pay into the gas fee, right? If I don't have gas fee, I need to find my way to get more Ethereum. Otherwise, I can't continue. I think that's not going to be a good experience for a sensible user who are smart enough, right? And I wouldn't even say it's about IQ level. It's just about a normal human user experience, right? If the user experience is too bad, it's not going to be sustainable, right? So I think for that, we are always looking forward to talk to all kinds of new projects. Like recently, there's a lot of gaming projects we're talking with who don't necessarily think in that term. They never have the incentive layer, right? When they talk about blockchain, they say, oh, this tokenomics, this incentive layer, so interesting. So, but how should we do that, right? And how how can you support us and so on? So they have a lot of questions, but I think blockchain providing a next layer, this gamification layer for all kinds of existing Web 2.0 applications, right? And that incentive layer itself needs to make sense, right? And so far from previous problem, like the highest transaction fee I paid on Ethereum this year was on an IDO project on a launchpad. I paid $150 to participate in that IDO because people were literally went into the dashboard, and I was kind of a bit crazy in that. Yeah, I was also kind of in my head, I want to get into the first, right? I was like, okay, fuck it, let's go. So I paid $150 for that transaction. That's the transaction fee. So it's not gonna be user friendly, right? And if that's the reality, the Web 2.0 games will never come. They will be like, okay, I'll wait for you guys to really figure it out yourself. Otherwise, my users and not every single of my users is gonna pay $150 just for a transaction. It doesn't make sense. The smart developers will not be built on that. The smart users will not actually use on that, and then nobody gonna do that. It doesn't make sense. If it doesn't make sense, it's inevitable. People need to find some alternative. I have that's my 2 cents on from my user side. My feedback and comment on the ecosystem side, and since I'm building and leading the China side, I think that the applications is being pretty diverse. We're seeing all kinds of new reshuffle, right? And DeFi projects now need to do some innovation with synthetic assets, needs to do some with leverage trading, derivatives, all kinds of new innovation come out in the product layer, right? Not just the infrastructure middle layer, the product layer. For that, there's a lot of pretty complicated logic of smart contract needs to build on that. So that itself actually requires pretty high gas fee, from Ethereum, right? It's not just because of the transaction volume. It's because the smart contract itself has a lot of data, a lot of new things. So I think in the future, it's not just DeFi, right? We have projects probably will build with the IoT solution, with AI, with medical data, with all the other things, right? Then the smart contract will consist more and more data, more and more complicated logic. Then it requires higher gas fee, right? So I think for that, it's inevitable. The system itself needs to be pretty, it needs to be pretty scalable enough. Otherwise, a lot of mass production, sort of a bigger level mass production, let's say IoT or other applications, it can never actually build on a blockchain. And I think it's such a pity, even shame. Those kind of interesting high potential projects can never be a real blockchain applications. We can talk to a lot of them, but I think it's still in the process to help them figure out what exactly we can help them as a scaling solution. But then I think for that we need to work towards that together, because a lot of application projects, they are not really the blockchain expert, right? They're still kind of in the process to figure out, does this make sense for them? If that makes sense, how exactly they should do that, right? So I think on the ecosystem builder side, it's inevitable. We need to keep providing good scaling solution for those guys, and hopefully we can bring more and more interesting people into the space.
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, thank you for your sharing. It's really inspiring. Yeah. So yeah, awesome. Yeah. So I think that the users and developers will figure it by themselves, and we are looking forward to more interesting users, more interesting projects, and to join the Polygon ecosystem to make it to make it bigger and bigger. Yeah. Okay. So next, Dan.
Yeah, still like as Charlie mentioned, the gas fees is really important in this DeFi world. But I would love to bring another perspective, like how do you even cash out your cryptos into the real currency fiat money and to spend it? So from this perspective, I would not say Polygon will take over Ethereum, because from my personal experience, I earn money or I use my money to mine fees or rewards. I earn money from Polygon, but in the end, I have to cash out and I have to pay my bills. I have to get the fiat money. So I have to transfer all my crypto back to Ethereum layer 1. And then when I got my crypto there, and I have to I have to do another transaction to get my Ethereum to those exchanges where I can cash out, I can exchange for fiat money. Now I can buy a cup of coffee. So this part is a really important thing we have to notice. We have to realize Ethereum channel is the center, and we cannot say Polygon will take over it for sure. But in the long run, if we can cash out the crypto from layer 2 directly, like I can transfer my Matic to the exchange and exchange with euro, with Chinese yuan, RMB, and I buy a cup of coffee and I buy bubble tea, anything, like that would be really nice. I will say yes, Polygon will take over Ethereum because we don't suffer any transaction fees and we will not do other transactions in Ethereum ecosystem. But in this case, we have it now. I mean, Polygon would be hard to take over Ethereum because Ethereum will still be there, and most of the exchanges where you can exchange your fiat money to crypto, like you can exchange your crypto to euro, to dollars, and they are existing in Ethereum layer 1, like they are there, and we have to back them, and we have to use their service, and we have to use their service to buy the stuff. We buy milk, we pay our internet fees, and because Matic does not work, we cannot transfer like your QuickSwap token to your to anyone, like can we buy a cup of milk like that? No, that's not working. So yeah, Polygon will not take over Ethereum, but Polygon is for sure some place for us, for everyone, for youngs, adults, like for people you are not that rich and we just start to build our finance or build our assets. We make money there. It's for sure, it's a thing doable, and we make money there, and we get our crypto and increase our assets, and we cash out and we spend it in our daily life. So that's why I feel, even though Polygon will be a hard time take over Ethereum, even though they have like super low transaction fees, not even 1 cent, and when you transaction anything, like, but in the end, we have to get your money out. We have to spend your money because the government does not admit, like in China, who would take your crypto? Like they will not allow that. But in Europe, I think it's fine.
Of course.
In UK, there is some barber shop. They said like a Bitcoin accepted or Ethereum accepted. That's nice. But these are just us, like crypto fans. We are fine. I was like, my dream is to open a restaurant. So in my future restaurant, I would love to I accept any types of cryptos that I feel is potential. But that's just me. So it's hard. It's really hard. I cannot say I accept Polygon, but not others will accept that. Still, if I earn Polygon, I have to cash it out, and I have to back to Ethereum layer 1. I have to use Ethereum to do all the transactions and exchange for euros or exchange for Swedish kronor to use it. So that's pretty much my opinion. But still, like investors or users here today, you're watching this. I'm saying like my opinion is still like it's so positive in Polygon. You can start now, use your few hundred RMB or like dozens of dollars. Start from now and build up your finance assets and start to invest. Not wait, not put your money, stay in the bank and lie there and just dies out. That's not okay. Like, let's do it, really. Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion. Thank you.
Thank you, Dan. Yeah, it's really interesting. Polygon may not take over Ethereum, but people can still earn a lot on Polygon. Yeah, and if we can cash out on there too, everything will be different. Yeah. Okay. Next, Lilith. How about you?
Yeah. Oh, may I? Okay. So yeah. So personally, always from my point of view, yeah. Personally, would be in the future, I think. But I think you know, how Ethereum community, how Ethereum power built in past, Polygon will do the same or more than that. Like do more effort and working hard like this. And you know, the community and the holder and investors, including institutional investors or you know VC or any funds, they will see the Polygon potential. I mean, yeah. So I want to announce an update from Aave. We released Aave Pro. You know iPhone, yeah, iPhone Pro. Maybe in the future we have iPhone Pro Plus. Yeah, just kidding. So Aave Pro is yeah, it's for institutional investor. We built with 5 block. So we built on Ethereum and we allow 4 assets. So Bitcoin, Ethereum, Aave, and another one. So USDC, I think, yes, 4 assets. So we choose first place is based on the Ethereum because the security is great and so many people there. So, you know, we will do this time on Ethereum. That's why. But in the future, I think Polygon is really possible to, you know, to expand the community and make more awareness in the world. So yeah, let's see. Thanks.
Thanks. Let's see. Polygon will have more awareness among the DeFi world. Yeah. Okay. Next, Matt or Mac? Matt or Mac?
Matt. Yeah.
Okay. First,
Yeah.
Matt first.
Lovely.
Certainly Polygon's trending in the right direction, but it's hard to see it overtaking Ethereum because Ethereum is just such a big stalwart. And you know, those developers are also working hard to make updates to the chain. And that's, I mean, Ethereum is just so big. It's one of those cryptos that is just like really the backbone of like the DeFi community. And again, Polygon is like built in tandem with Ethereum. It's a side chain. So
Exactly.
I really don't want to like compare the two because they work so well together. It's not really like a competition in that regard.
Not an ETH killer, as we would say. Yeah. Not an ETH killer or some other chains or
Never
It's
claimed
like
to be
even
and
just
never
going
will
to
be.
yeah, exactly. Even just going to Polygon's website, it's Polygon, Ethereum's Internet of Blockchain. I mean, it's all about being that. Even the vision change and the branding starting this year. I mean, yeah. So yeah, I do agree on that thing that it's not about directly going against each other. It's more like helping scale Ethereum application and like connect everything. So yeah, I'll leave Matt finish his point, but totally agreed.
Thank you for the support. Yeah, I appreciate it because I think the framing. I just disagree with the question, the framing of the question.
Yeah, in a way,
yeah. I mean, when we have like multiple methods like that take place on Polygon, lending, staking, yield farming, vault, cross-chain applications. We have so many directions we can go on Polygon, but those capabilities also exist on Ethereum's chain. So yeah, users can participate in these events and earn money, and then they can go and cash out. And yet currently right now, you have to go to like a centralized exchange to cash out into fiat, right? But we at O3 like envision a time like in the near future where that's not necessary. I mean, not too long ago, like a year ago, we didn't even have decentralized exchanges. Everyone had to provide identification and KYC review to register for something like Coinbase, Binance, Bittrex, Kraken, what have you, all the centralized ones that they claim to be, and they are a big part of this community, but they're not decentralized. It's not anonymous. Those people, the money that they make is going to be taxed by their government unless they do some tax backflips or what have you. So what's coming to like the decentralized community is going to be like international. Like, I mean, it's just that if I had to pick any cryptocurrency that could potentially be like an international currency, it would be Ethereum. So it's hard for me to say, oh, Polygon is going to overtake Ethereum. No, they're going to work together, and there's going to be multiple chains working together that make this DeFi decentralized world a reality.
Thank you, Matt. Thank you, Matt. Polygon and Ethereum will work together, and they are very important to each other. Okay, so next, Mac.
I was basically gonna take the whole subject to what Matt was taking into, like the last question of this third question. So will it surpass in a way Ethereum? I mean, sort of maybe the question was in a way to like get the whole topic out that, in our opinion, or maybe more generally also, that is not the, like, let's say, goal. Never has been, as Charlie also said, but fully scaling Ethereum. And then we always mention like the let's say problems we find in Ethereum at the moment. So we're talking about the high transaction fees, etc., etc. And those are exactly the point that Polygon is touching, and that's why we see these relative numbers across data. I mean, the numbers don't lie. And we'll see that like higher usage on SushiSwap, on Polygon rather than Ethereum, etc., etc. So, so back to the question, like, will the status of Ethereum surpass? Like, will Polygon surpass Ethereum? I don't have an answer for that, but they will be always strongly like interconnected. And just leaving it right there for me.
I just want to add to Mike's point because I think it's a potent one. Like SushiSwap and Aave and QuickSwap, I'm sure they moved to Polygon because it's Ethereum compatible, and they were already built for Ethereum. So Polygon did a very intelligent thing in making it compatible with EVM. And that's working really well for them, but that's also working really well for Ethereum. And that was Ethereum's whole point in creating something like EVM.
We benefit mutually. It's a good thing. We don't compare with that.
Got it. So let's move to the next question. Now let's talk about another top shot in this industry, NFT. As a sidechain, Polygon allows projects to stay on Ethereum while also having access to a fast, low-fee environment. In the past few months, a large number of NFT-oriented and gaming projects have migrated to Polygon. This week, Polygon has announced a partnership with Community Gaming, a platform for esports infrastructure. With this collaboration, new tournaments powered by community gaming will be seamlessly deployed to the Polygon ecosystem. So the question is, what do you think about the potential of NFT on Polygon? Will there be any exclusive advantage launching NFT projects on Polygon than doing it on other chains? Okay, Matt?
No, Charlie. No, I think Charlie hit it before when he was talking just about the fees.
NFTs.
Both buyers and sellers can benefit. You don't want your profits or your selling price to be cut into by fees.
It just doesn't make sense, even just psychologically looking at it. Like, even as a first like outside viewer, like, just won't make sense. Even if we know what we're talking about, just explaining this to someone, imagine that I'll help you claim this NFT or buy this, but the actual fee for it is higher. And because I went through that, and just touching on the real life.
Especially, yeah, when it's like auction style, where people are bidding, and then their bidding price, let's say it's $100, and they expect to pay $100, right? But no, that's the money that's going to the creator, and then there's like a gas fee on top of that, perhaps. So it's like it's just like this whole mind-bending scenario where there's like a middleman, and that's like kind of what DeFi was supposed to remove, is all the middlemen, right?
And then if you take that situation where you just have also the additional transaction cost, if we're just purely talking about, let's say it's a user and he's trying to like buy an NFT and then resell it, for example, I mean, paying that additional gas fee and thinking about two scenarios, one scenario of the price actually going up. So he would have almost no reason to complain. Let's say, just imagine, but on a scenario where that price also decreases, just emphasizes the whole importance of there was such a big amount, like a margin on the transaction fee already, that he was already in a situation like a small markdown on the price would already be very felt, and probably lead him out of the industry in a way, like if it was a newcomer starting up, or like literally just testing everything. Even if I'm a developer or I'm just a retail buyer, I just want to, let's say, as we're talking about farming and liquidity, just adding to a liquidity pool, etc., etc. I mean, just adding to all the points that we touched on transaction fees, and especially on NFTs, because that's been a huge adoption wave. Like especially this year it's been insane. I don't know if you all agree, but NFTs, especially in the adoption they've brought, maybe we've seen more of a wave during like February to May. I don't know if I personally think the kind of wave is cooling down, but we're seeing big moves again.
Well, I think that it's interesting the way that like the cryptocurrency world is connecting with the art world. Because so many people who were never into cryptocurrency before, because all this cool art from maybe like one of their favorite artists who is trying to get on top of this, their agent told them to issue an NFT. Even in addition to creating like an actual piece, like I know one of my friend, he has nothing to do with like the cryptocurrency space, but he really likes art. He's always been into painting. So one of his favorite artists in the UK, Damien Hirst, he's issuing like an NFT and then an actual piece, and you could buy either or for $2,000, not cheap. And like the other one, it will either be digitally burned or like actually burned. So like trying to improve the price point and make it like worth buying, because like, you know, one of these things no longer exists.
Wow. That's smart. Yeah.
Oh, I think we lost.
So
oh, you're back.
I'm Matt.
Yeah, we had a small disconnection from you, Matt, but we heard most of your points.
I think his signal has some issue. So
Iris,
I think for your question, let me give you some other thoughts on this besides this transaction fee, the things I mentioned. I think to have a very, how to say, flourish, dynamic NFT ecosystem, right? We as a blockchain infrastructure to support that, it's quite different compared to DeFi. Today we have AAve, where we have the like QuickSwap. They essentially mostly focus a lot on the DeFi side, mostly, right? And I think the NFT side is very different ball game. Why I say that is you're dealing with a lot of different developers with different backgrounds. Well, not necessarily financial backgrounds, from Wall Street, from financial engineering backgrounds. A lot of them from entertainment industry, fashion, arts, sports, gaming, a lot from gaming right now, and music. We see some multiple music NFT project built on Polygon recently, and we see a lot of gaming projects. On the product side layer, we need to provide interesting middle layers toolings for them. So without those toolings like support, I think it's still going to be pretty hard, even though we have multiple magnitudes like cheaper gas fee. They can't really build their complicated smart contract on that, right? But how to make sure that they are secure and so on. We still need to have a lot of infrastructure partners to work together, such as secure wallets that can store those NFT assets in a safe position, It's quite different logic compared to the ERC20 or like fungible token, right? Non-fungible token, we treat them as like assets. So we see some kind of wallets building new features like storing NFT assets on that and make it even cross-chain interoperable, right? And we even seeing in the future privacy protected solutions. So make sure using some zero knowledge proof and solution. The transaction you build on this in NFT applications, you don't necessarily need to leak all the information to finalize your transaction, things like that. So we're talking with a lot of infrastructure layer or middle layer companies as well. I'm pretty excited to see how they can provide interesting solution, to be value adding to the application projects. Yeah, it's just different ballpark game, with different user base, different developers, and they're doing different things. And because they're doing different things, they have different side effect problems they need to solve, like side effect challenges they have. So Polygon is launching the studio this week, right? It's a major news this week. The purpose for this studio is to be the facilitator for all kinds of upcoming NFT and gaming projects. We see that a lot of challenge will happen. That's why we need to help them along the way. Just being a permissionless, cheaper gas fee blockchain with some other scaling solution itself is good. It's very important, but it's not enough. We will see that happen. Like people will still be struggling about many things. Like recently, there are multiple security attacks on all the swaps, right? That we noticed that's a big issue. So we're trying to working closely with a security company like Certic, QuantStamp, TaxShield, all the security company together. Like Happy, that's a protocol, security protocol made by Hacken, one of the leading security company in Ukraine. I would say even the top one from East Europe. We're working closely to make some kind of on-chain security protocol on that. So make sure when people do some cross-chain transactions, so on, the swaps they're using with, if they have problems, it's gonna be default defendant's process. It's not gonna be okay. I lose money, then I go to security company to get it back. In blockchain, it doesn't work in that way. You need to protect self before it actually get hacked. Right now, it's like a lot of attacks already happen. It's happening. It happened a lot in May, right? In BSC, they have like around 100 million, right? Flash attacks. It's happening in Polygon's cross-chain bridges as well, with AnySwap, ArbitrSwap, and all the others, right? And it's something we need to find ways to defend. But yeah, it will take time. Those kind of attacks, you can't stop the hackers because of the incentive they have and so on, right? We need to defend proactively. And it's always an issue. It has been an issue, and it will continue to be an issue that security is important. If you earn a lot of money, let's say, you can find a way to get rich because the yield farming, all that is good, but you never know the black swan thing will happen because a hacker, for some reason, they hack into your private key and somehow, and all your funds get stolen like that. Then all the yield rates rewards doesn't mean anything, right? And people will still feel reluctant, and the institutions, like Avi just mentioned, the institutional version will be still pretty challenging. If we're talking with a really big family offices with like more than hundreds of millions of dollars, they're joining crypto, they're gonna ask this question, like how you can make sure my funds get secure and so on, right? How do you make sure I can store my NFT asset safely? That's not a question Polygon itself can solve, right? It's a very challenging thing in the industry for a while. It will continue to be there. Yeah.
Thank you, Charlie. Yeah, it's really it's a lot. Yeah, transaction fees, apart from transaction fee, security is also the problem we are all concerned about, and I think there should be more infrastructure to added into Polygon ecosystem to support, to improve the security. Okay, so
yeah, and it's interesting you mentioned like the swaps recently being hacked because obviously O3 wallet and we have the O3 swap, so obviously swaps seem to be the target. We recently had like security reviews here, and yet we're still worried about it. because we don't want to lose any of the momentum that we've gained because of a security infiltration. And so I think one of the things that we're planning on doing is in the future inviting like white hat hackers to try and hack it and see what insecurities they could find in the system and report them to us. And in return, we're willing to offer like handsome airdrops if they can report to us some of those areas that may have been missed by the security companies that have done the audit of our network.
Okay, thank you. So, ladies.
Okay, so add a little bit. So about NFT, Aave is working on an NFT as well. We did invested Aave as really early time. So I mean, if we can use NFT as a collateral to bond assets from Aave market, that's will be really, really nice. Then we will update really soon. So yeah, keep tuned. Thanks.
Okay, keep tuned. Next.
What was that?
Yeah,
What was
I
that
would love
NFT
to-
called?
Aavegotchi?
Aave.
Yeah.
It's a very it's one of my favorite project. Yeah.
Yeah,
Great.
It's
I mean,
Avatar. It's yeah.
Yeah, they have the
Lovely.
ghost avatar, so it
Yeah.
makes DeFi very fun to work with. It's a
Yeah.
We
But
we always
be honest-
we did campaign as well.
It's
Yeah.
hard to
Yama-
love into it.
Yamagachi,
Because,
like the
Sorry.
It's okay.
Aavegotchi, AAVE.
Yeah.
Got.
Yeah,
Chi
Aave
is I.
literally means ghost in Finnish. So
Yep,
Stani
yep,
is
yep.
yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Right.
It's a Finnish
Finnish
word.
too,
Oh,
yeah.
okay, interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Finish.
But I tried to play that, but I think it's hard because if you want to buy a ghost, it's at least $1,000. So it's really hard to put $1,000
Today, when we're talking about it today,
I'm buying 10.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah,
Totally.
because I would love to speak something about these NFT advantages on Polygon. Because from my perspective, I'm not a technology guy. I'm just want to know the finance part, if I can make money on it. So I agree
Yeah, me
with Charlie.
too.
We see NFT
Agree
as
with you.
assets. For me, I see NFT as assets. I will say if there is potential, like I can buy the tokens or I can invest into it. So that's how I will do that on Polygon, because if I focus on the token from the NFT projects, I want low transaction fees. That's the thing I want. But for the NFT project itself, I think it has to target the specific users. For example, the arts you ask or bid the price. I'm not an art person. I have bad sense of art. I will not go bid about it. But if this project is really potential, I would love to buy some token from it. It's like I buy the shares from the company, like I buy the stocks. So I would love to invest into the NFT project via Polygon instead of Ethereum, because the high transaction fees really keeps me away. Like I don't want to get into it with my few $100s. Like just suffers from $50 of transaction fees. But I would love to try like NFT projects from Polygon. Actually, I bought Aavegotchi because I cannot get into it. If you want to be good at it, you have to spend at least $8,000, something like that. And I cannot put my $8,000 just for the games, and it's hard for me. So I just bought some shares. We say shares. I bought some tickets from Aavegotchi, and it was quite low. Like even though the price has dropped so much for the DeFi market, but Aavegotchi is the one like stands there like $1 something, like stands still. So I found like NFT, I see it as asset. As a user, I think NFT like project builders, you have to consider Polygon. Like it's really nice because the users there might be the potential buyer of your genius ideas. We will not involve into it, but we might buy your genius ideas. So this is for sure an advantage if you go to Polygon to launch your project. Yeah, that's pretty much my opinion.
Okay.
Great.
Wow, it's amazing. So no matter you are the how to say producer or creator, no matter you are a creator or you are a buyer, let's go to Polygon. Yeah. Okay, so the last part, from the perspective of Polygon's popularity, the number of active addresses have increased over 600% in the last 30 days. And it continues to be a growing trend within the crypto and the blockchain space, with an expanding user base that reported has 1.4 million unique users. The Polygon ecosystem has acquired a great number of user base for blossoming. Is it just a beginning of it, or would it alternatively be around the peak of the development? What would be your visions regarding the future of the Polygon ecosystem? So, who will be the first?
Is that
I
Charlie?
can go. Charlie? Yeah, I think it's just the
You
beginning.
guys go first.
Yeah.
It's a stage.
Thank you also. Yeah.
This is the first inning of the baseball game, or the first the first few minutes of the soccer game, for those who aren't American.
Exactly.
This is Polygon is very new and it's growing rapidly. But as Charlie said, they have to keep it up and keep doing more and expanding and onboarding new projects and new users if they want to keep this momentum going. And it looks like they have kept the momentum going, at least for the past, I don't know, 4 or 5 months. So even as the space has crashed, Matic, the coin, has actually maintained a lot of its value that it gained during the bull market run. So we're gonna see. We'll see. But I don't think this is the peak just yet for any part of the DeFi space, unless there is some black hat hacker event. I think this is just the first inning of the ball game. Yeah.
I'll add to Matt's point real quick. Definitely, we see Polygon going in the right direction. I'm talking also from personal experience. Just gonna touch a bit on Polystarter. So just from the fact that from the interesting teams and ideas and everything that we're discussing on a daily basis, I see this going much further than it is. Generally, as you said, Matt, other than having a catastrophic event, I mean, throughout the years, we've seen the acceleration just being exponential. I do see it. I do see this year, the next few years, as very, very, very key.
Yeah, DeFi summer was last year, so.
And everyone was hoping for a 2.0, DeFi summer 2.0.
Yeah, DeFi summer 2.0. Oh, we can call this GameFi. We call this GameFi sometimes.
GameFi summer.
Yeah, we're pushing hard on this. I'm a big gamer myself.
Nice.
I've been to multiple times BlizzCon and China Joy Gaming Summit. I'm going there this year as well. Getting invited by quite some interesting pure gaming events. Right. I probably will be the only crypto guy in that event to be the speaker. And I'm gonna talk a lot on the gaming side. Right. Being a game user, how the game will look like in the future. Right. The whole old Blizzard type of subscription fee model games is getting older and older, and somehow it's outdated, right? And now all the play to earn incentive layer decentralized games is really picking up. Axie Infinity yesterday made $8 million as revenue, right? So that's more than the revenue of League of Legends. League of Legends is a level everybody knows as a game, right? I'm so glad to see the number, and crypto games actually, growing so fast and become mainstream. The numbers is telling about the reality. So yeah, we hopefully we see more and more games who can do even better.
What's the best game on chains, on any chain right now? Or is it just not? It hasn't.
Best
developed
or
yet?
highest users?
In your opinion. In your opinion.
So right now is Axie Infinity. Yeah, they had the highest growth rate.
Axie Infinity very, very bad.
Yeah.
What is it
revenue.
called?
X Infinity.
Axie. So
AXIE. Yeah. So
AXIE Infinity.
Yeah.
Infinity.
So the little, yeah, you've probably seen it around. Or a few other interesting. I find the sandbox also very interesting.
It's quite active, I think.
Georgiou, as we mentioned.
Yeah. So I think the whole game experience plus DeFi plus NFT will be the new trend. You know, the game experience is actually very important. You know, why DeFi has to be boring. You know, it's a gamification stuff, right? You know, it doesn't have to be. The DeFi mechanism can be built embedded into the game stuff as well, right? And the game industry.
I mean, this gaming is where art meets storytelling meets technology. So yeah,
well,
definitely
the game industry. My experience, you know, I was trying hard to find interesting game adoptions in 2018. At that time it was EOS and Tron, right? And didn't work well, and because a lot of reasons. But I think it has been multiple shots already, right? The industry is still waiting for the good solutions, and now I think we're in the period to break it through. So yeah, I think what's going to happen in the next few years, we're going to see a lot of these guys coming into the space. And for these guys, at least what I know in game field, I know this industry for almost 15 years. It's a mega place. You know, a lot of millennials, a lot of Generation Z people, they're born with game stuff.
Yes.
15 years ago, we have to play in the PC. Now you're playing everywhere on mobile.
It's almost nostalgic to looking back to a few of those games. Even Georgiou, in my opinion, somehow just is nostalgic. The way it's pixelated and everything just reminds me so much of. So yeah, there's a lot of that don't even have to make sense myself. I just see it, and it does really remind me of what I personally grew up with. Yeah. So like the whole gaming and even the feeling of community and really starting new games up like 10 to how many years ago. Yeah.
My question, because I'm not into the gaming, and no, I get the nostalgia thing, and gaming is super popular, especially here in China. Everyone's playing the games on their phone all the time to the point where it drives me crazy because they can't walk. But why is it so suitable for the blockchain? Why is like gaming suitable for the blockchain? Why would there be a transition from? And I don't understand. And like I'm a huge fan of blockchain, and it doesn't make sense to me why it would go from like you know, the way it is now to the blockchain.
Okay, let me try and explain that, because that's exactly the point Polygon still trying to solve, right? So Web 2.0 game, it's a very similar social dynamics compared to the Web 2.0 internet. It's very oligarchy, very monopolistic, meaning a lot of the major leading companies have a huge network effect, has pretty monopoly position in terms of the distribution, in terms of many other things. It's very centralized. The gaming industry as well. I can't name names, but you know, a lot of game companies in China are struggling. The ones making a lot of money are the ones on top 3. Why are doing that? Because they're controlling the distribution channel. They're controlling the content processing, and there's no the way they're doing games is pretty centralized driven. I see hundreds, even not mentioned, maybe thousands of companies in the second tier or long tails. They need to have a new business model. They can't just do the same as Monopoly doing the subscription model because of the distribution they have, right? They can easily go for that. You need to have a new layer of incentive layer. Then every single virtual asset you create in the game, it will be either mined out by the users themselves, or you create minted by the game producer. But that's on chain. So you can't replicate 100 pieces just for whatever you want, right? Just like with the Vitalik interface with World of Warcraft when he was before he did created Ethereum, right? And then the virtual assets get minted, traded within the games. It have a built-in, by default built-in P2P marketplace, and that kind of marketplace, every single transaction from A to B to C, you earn as a game producer. You earn the transactional fee or the how to say all the other side derivative revenues from that. So it's kind of how to say that. So all the new games, you inject your interesting metaverse or interesting game content into like a storytelling, but you have your game economy built on a blockchain into your user, right? And you are the creator of this kind of game society. And that's how a lot of people are saying about the metaverse, right? You need to have an identity layer, you need to have the marketplace, you need to have the game asset. And those things are built on blockchain. Right now, nothing is on blockchain. It's all easy to manipulate, to replicatable. The only thing matters in game industry right now, in the last 20 years, is distribution. Distribution is the only thing that matters. No, so you see a lot of games in, I would say in China, I can complain because I'm the user. You see a lot of games make a lot of money, but they are copycat. The only thing they know and they have and they actually make money is distribution. But that's the only thing that matters. So basically, you see a lot of shitty games making a lot of money because they have a lot of distribution, and they get the access to the users, and the users somehow they play those low quality games.
Yeah,
the
they go on.
But can't they all just like deploy on the App Store? I mean, if we're talking about mobile games, or like, are you talking about mobile games?
Yeah, of course about mobile games as well. I think distribution is important. I'm not saying distribution is not important at all. Right? You still need to get to a user and go to market strategy, but the way you make money is not just okay. Every single registered user you pay for subscription fee. Right now, all the upcoming games will be free to play, but play to earn, and have an incentive model built into the game. And you have like a gamified system to earn revenue with the transaction fees and the game assets you created. Even minting new NFTs through the game assets within your game, and you earn revenue from many other new models. So it's just different. It's different dynamics, right? And that kind of way you make money. And look at Xfinity, like they had some critical mass, right? As long as you have enough user base, let's say more than 10,000, you have this kind of game economy, organic game economy within your games. Then it's interesting revenue stream. Not just to keep charging as a subscription fee, and people can easily delete your games whenever you want. The hook is very different. So it's something game developers always need to think about it, because game is such a thing you can't live without it, but you make the games so interesting, somehow even addicted. The gamers keep playing every day. Become like some hobbit or something. That's different story. The retention rate is very important. You spend, let's say, $100 for the user acquisition cost. They come over to see your ads, they install, but then maybe they delete you 2 hours later. That happens all the time. Yeah.
I would love to add something from an amateur perspective. Like speaking of those gaming, like I don't play games, but as I understand it, the difference between the traditional game and the games on blockchain, especially those games has some tokens. They have like tokens for the game project. I think as a user, like play the game. If I play, there was a game called Hello Cats. It's like a pet game. I use my phone, I pet it, and I can teach my cat to do dance, sing songs, and stuff like that for the traditional game. But I don't know, I don't earn anything. I just waste my time playing the game and have fun with it. Yeah, but when it comes to blockchain, I think from my understanding, I can find some type of same game and I have same experience, but I earn rewards, I level up and I earn rewards, and I have like earnings on it. I'm making money when I play the game and I have the same experience. That's pretty much my feelings of the gaming industry in the blockchain, or even those who has tokens, because I don't know that much about business models of the game company or distribution stuff. But for those like really basic levels of mine, that's my understanding. If I'm wrong, Charlie, please correct me. Yeah.
There is no right and wrong.
That's good to hear. Yeah, it's good feedback. It's good feedback.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Lilith, do you have anything to talk about?
Well, I'm not a gamer as well. Yeah, but yeah, so regarding the Aave, so we mentioned just now, it has a campaign with Aave. That's why I know Aave, how it works. So like if you have a token, so you can stake on Aave, then you will get, to like NFT very special one version. So I think if you want to get some rewards, if you want to win some rewards, so you can try to understand how this game working. So if not, if not, you're not a gamer, but you're interested in this field. So I think you can just try to play. If any have a campaign, so you just try to understand what is happening, and you can find the difference from the traditional mobile game as well. Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. I think after this panel, there are many users who watching this panel, maybe searching for the game projects in Polygon.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, very interesting.
That's nice.
Yeah. Okay.
I-
Thank you all. We appreciate you guys joining us and sharing your thoughts on Polygon. So let's call it a wrap. Yeah. And now it's time for our second and last round of lucky draws. Rules remain the same. 现在是第二轮抽奖时间，规则相同，本轮一样抽出5位幸运儿，准备开始。扫描屏幕上的二维码进入社区，获得抽奖结果。Get ready, guys! 3, 2, 1, stop. That's all for our lucky draw today. Our staff is working on the result, and the 10 winners will be announced in our community later. Thank you all for viewing. See you next time. See you.
Thank you very much, everyone.
Yes.
Bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Bye, guys. Have a good
Great
day.
panel.
Bye bye. Thank you. Thank you all.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.
Thanks very much.